Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our YouTube Live presentation, Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins. I'm a senior instructor here at VectorVest. Always my pleasure to be here to give these presentations live in a streaming fashion. For those of you who may be brand new and may not be chatting as of yet, let me talk to you about what Trending Thursday is all about. We look at a lot of things that are in the news. We take that information, break it down through the VectorVest software. That is the software that we use. It's been around for 30 years. It's a market timing, well, it's more of a stock analysis and portfolio management system. That's what we do. We analyze over 8,000 stocks. I can help you analyze any stock, and at the end of this presentation, I will give you an opportunity to type in any stocks that you may be either investing in or managing or thinking about. I'm going to show you the power of the VectorVest software, how we can analyze it just like that. All right, so we look at the news, things that are making news. We look at those stories. We analyze it through the VectorVest software. We look at their graphs, and it's going to give you a better understanding of what's really going on with the graph. People will always try to talk you into buying stocks, no matter what's going on in the market. The VectorVest software is designed to keep you focused on what you really should be doing at any given time. You know I like Paul Harvey, right? And what did he always say in his presentations? He's going to show you the rest of the story. And that is what the VectorVest software is designed to do, to really give you the rest of the story behind whether you should be investing in that stock or not, or if you're holding the stock, whether you should continue holding it or think about getting rid of it to invest in another stock. Another things that come through with these sessions is you may pick up on stocks that you're not even investing in that are making the news that may be good opportunities to buy. So if you're here to learn more about what's going on in the market, you're in the right place. If you're here to learn about some stocks you can take a look at, you're in the right place. And if you're here to look at, well, should I be holding this stock or not? You're in the right place. So with all of that, let's get into how we start off these sessions. We always start off with utilizing the VectorVest software to talk about what's going on in the market. What I'm going to do is open up the VectorVest software for you, and I'm going to bring myself to the home page as well. This is what you see when you first open up the software. For those of you who are not subscribers, you're getting a glimpse as into some of the power and flexibility that the software has to offer. So what we always do, we analyze stocks, but we also time the market. Now, when I say time the market, we are trend followers. We keep you on the right side of the trend, whether it's bullish, whether it's bearish, or even sometimes when it's moving sideways. So we give you a good understanding of what's truly going on in the market, so that when the people you talk about to your friends, or you look at on TV, or you get a news article, these are the things, again, people are going to always tell you to be buying stocks even when the market's moving down. Well, you like the stock at 30, you're going to love it at 20. Go buy some more. Whoo-wee! No. The worst thing you can do is dollar cost average down. That's not what you want to do. Spend your money into stocks that are doing what you want them to do, which is go up in price, or if you're playing the market to the downside, find those stocks that are going down in price. So what we do is we look at what's going on in the market, and we have specific indicators to help you to make a better decision on whether or not it's okay or not okay to be in the market. So let's start off at our home page. We're looking at the VectorVest real-time data package, where you can see what's going on tick by tick throughout the day. If you look at our quick list is going to show all of the major indices and what they're doing throughout the day. Notice that the Dow is slightly down, flat to down about 0.03%, pretty flat for the day. The NASDAQ, though, is down about 0.2%, and it's leading all of the major indices to the downside. Oh, but wait, we have the S&P 500, flat to slightly down. Oh, but the S&P 100 is slightly flat to up. And our VectorVest composite, is an indexed arithmetic average of all of the stocks that we track. Currently, we're tracking 8,262 stocks. And every stock in our database gets a buy, a sell, or a hold recommendation all the time. So when I look at the VectorVest composite, this price you see is an index arithmetic average of all of the stocks that we track. Because we track that many stocks, that's how we're able to effectively time the market. We're tracking the move of 8,262 stocks in one ticker symbol known as the VVC, indexed arithmetic average of all of the stocks that we track. Okay, so when I can look and see that the price of all of these stocks in one ticker symbol is trading at $48.67. Now, it's great to know this data, but we can see if it's moving up or down throughout the day. Notice that the VectorVest composite is the biggest mover out of all of the indices right now, down almost 0.3%. Now, let's move over a little bit more. Let's look at our color guard. Our color guard looks at three indicators or three market timing indicators that we use for timing the market as well. The first one is that price of the VectorVest composite. The next one is called RT, stands for relative timing. This indicator is one of our core proprietary indicators, which is cast on a scale between 0 and 2. We make it simple. If the indicator that is cast on that scale is above the value of 1, it's favorable, and if it's below the value of 1, it's unfavorable. Makes it real simple. RT looks at the short-term price trend of the market. Is the market in an uptrend or not? Well, right now it's at 0.96, below the value of 1, so it's unfavorable, and it lets us know that the market right now is in a slight downtrend. The next indicator, the BSR, or buy to sell ratio. This indicator is not cast on a scale between 0 and 2, but if the indicator is above the value of 1, it's favorable, and the buy to sell ratio looks at the overall health of the market. I don't think there's anybody in this industry that has an indicator that looks at health of the market, but we have one called the buy to sell ratio. Well, how do we get this ratio? Remember, every stock in the database gets a buy or sell or a hold recommendation every day. Well, we look at the relationship of buy recommendations divided by sells. Currently, it's below the value of 1. So for every sell in the system, we have 9/10 of a buy. So right now, the market is showing signs of weakness because the buy to sell ratio is below the value of 1. Currently, we have more sell recommendations in the software than buys, and the market is showing signs of weakness. Now, we assign tiles based on week over week and day over day movement of all of these indicators. Currently, we have a yellow light in the price column. Well, that's because the price of the VectorVest composite is risen from 48.66 to 48.66.1 to 48.66.5. We're higher on a week over week basis by a very small part. It's now 666. Don't like that number. I'm a devout Christian. Don't like that number, not even a little bit. And it is lower on a day-over-day basis. The data is mixed. That's why we have a yellow light. So it's higher on a week-over-week basis, but lower on a day-over-day basis, yellow tile. Let's go to this red tile then. The red tile is because the movement of the buy to sell ratio is lower on a week over week basis from 1.19 to 0.90 and lower on a day over day basis from 0.97 to 0.90. This indicator has fallen on a week over week and day over day basis, and that's how it gets a red tile. To get a red tile, the indicator has to fall on both the week over week and day over day basis, and to get a green tile, the indicator has to rise on both the week over week and day over day basis. So based on these colors we get to every day, I can use this sort of like a traffic light. Out of 18 possible boxes that are here, 11 of them or so are yellow. So from the standpoint of a market timing perspective, if you're long in the market, this is a good time to just manage your trades. Let your stops manage your trades. This may not be a good time to buy new stocks, but if nothing else, don't be afraid to take profits on a stock that you own or mitigate losses on stocks that may be going against you. All right, so on our home page, right now we're saying VectorVest does not advocate buying any stocks at this time. We show you that by way of the color guard, more yellow than anything, this is a time to be cautious in the market. Now, once we have all of this information, we want to see what's making the market in this mode of being neutral. Well, let's get to our first story, which takes on what's going on in the news. Let's go to, there we go. Two things that are moving the markets. This is a news-driven market. Two things that are moving the markets. The tariffs with the Chinese, the trade war, and number two, interest rates. All right, those are the two main things that are moving the market. Interest rates, why? Are we going to get to another level where we're going to lower interest rates even more? The Fed's job, when it comes down to interest rates, is to make sure that work or jobs are good and that inflation is under control. The Fed's job is not to make sure that the market is doing well. So when we lower interest rates, it's a way to boost the economy to keep it running. Lower interest rates, when you borrow money, you have to pay back less money. It puts more money back in your pocket. It will boost an economy. Jobs are doing very well. More and more people are being employed, and that's a good thing. So with those two things in mind, in my thinking, the Fed should not still be reducing rates, but the reason why we are globally, we have the best economy across the globe, and we want to try to stay that way. And by dropping the interest rates, we are still bolstering our economy to be better than anybody else's economy globally. There's a downside to that. If we have a good economy and everybody else has got a crappy economy, what happens? Our dollar becomes stronger. If our dollar becomes stronger, people are not going to be willing to buy our products because they have to spend more money. So it's a double-edged sword in regards to what's going on. But the other side of what's going on in the market is the threat of the auto import tariffs remain despite lapse deadline. President had until November 13th to decide whether to apply the duties. So if we scroll down, President Trump's decision to let a deadline impose tariffs on foreign auto imports lapse without taking action has left the auto industry puzzled over the White House next move. So, keeping that in mind, that could be affecting the market. Let's go to the next story. Wow, Joey. All right, let's go to the next story. Fed officials cut rates last month amid worries on trade. The same story we just talked about. Now you understand why they're interactive with each other and why it's affecting the market and global growth. Officials voted in October meeting to cut the short-term benchmark to its current range between 1.5 and 1.75. Despite the Fed rate cuts, though, on credit cards could go up. All right. And let's go into one more story in regards to this. How about this? Now, the Fed chief cut the rates. But here's one of the people that are in the Fed. Fed Mester says she didn't want to cut rates, but is now content with watch and wait. So now there's a little bit of dissension within the Fed community in that whether or not we should continue to cut rates or not. Some of the Fed people are wanting to be a little bit more dovish, where it looks like right now the Fed chairman is wanting to be more hawkish and wants to continuing to cut rates. But I think overall he's starting to come into fruition of let's just wait and see what goes on, especially what's going on with the trade. All right, so those are the three stories that look like could be affecting the market in an adverse way. Let's do this. Let's get back into the software. We're going to look at the VectorVest composite, which is that indexed arithmetic average of over 8,200 stocks, and one that most people will look at for gauging the market, the spiders, the S&P 500. So I'm going to look at these real quick. Let's put them on a graph. Right-click, view the stock graph. All right, so here's the VectorVest composite. I'm going to put it on a 3-month graph. Remember the movement of over 8,200 stocks. The market was moving up nicely. I am looking at a moving average. I'm going to put on an exponential moving average of a 20-day moving average. Good rule of thumb, when the market's above whatever moving average you use, as long as the market is above it, it's a good time to be in the market. Look at what's going on with the market right now. A little bit of a curl over. The market hit a high on 11/19 since the last couple of days. Look at our candles. Our candles are red and getting bigger. The market's starting to pull back. So I've been letting people know by way of our daily color guard report every night that this is a time to start tightening the stops on the stocks that you own, number one, and to make sure that you manage the trades that you own with stops so that you know when to get out of them. And that's coming out to be really good information as the market is starting to pull down. Not telling you it's time to sell short yet or fully get out of your portfolios. Not yet. The market is still above that 20-day exponential moving average. The earnings per share is starting to pull back a little bit, but the volume is pretty steady on the market. Let's go look at the other indicator, which most people like to use. The S&P 500 looks a lot like what the VectorVest composite looks like. Above that moving average, but starting to peel off right now. Again, not the time to turn around and sell all of your stocks. Not the time to turn around and just say, man, I'm gonna start selling short. It's not that time yet. But now you have a better understanding of what news is affecting the market and how, by looking at the VectorVest composite and the spiders, or the S&P 500, how that's affecting the market overall. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.